you're already excellent in so many ways, but for you, what is excellence? And what drives you?
Cool. I think in the context of my field, in science, the excellence is always coming up with something original, something new. In research, you're always pushing the boundaries of knowledge, of what we know as humankind, in fact. And so the standard of excellence is really pushing on that boundary and figuring something out that no one has figured out before. Because there's new technology, because you used a new method, or because you just connected the dots and put something together. And so you got an insight or something working for the first time. And that's the signature of excellence for me.
Thank you. I love that. And Miss Cecil, you, for many, already, you are the epitome of excellence. But if you were to share that and explain to people, particularly the younger set that are here, what to you is excellence?
I never think of myself as excellent. I mean, I know I'm good. But I don't know, I guess it's just the way the process, the way I practice maybe. I'd probably, I don't know if I can relate, but in the piano, like I would practice the most silliest part of a piece. That's something could not even give a damn, like I would practice some really silly part for hours and hours, and nobody's even gonna notice that part, but once in a while you find somebody who really knows about music and they'll be like, I've never heard that in my entire life. It's like, it feels good. That stupid part that I worked on for hours made such a huge difference. And I don't know,
I guess that your pursuit, your continuous pursuit for excellence, and of course your humility also is truly, truly inspiring. And I'm sure a lot of them will pick that up and will also try to also choose their path of excellence and how you do it also. She's already one of the greatest, she's humble, but you still work really hard and we see that.
There's no formula, I think. You just gotta do it.
All right. Well, this segment now that we're going to be transitioning to will allow for our panelists to ask each other questions. This is the fun part. And I guess this is an innovation that only Mr. Roy Evalie can come up with. But this is interesting because you already have wonderful leaders here, great in their different profession. And I'm sure you all have questions for one another. And I would like to look for volunteers here on the stage as to who would like to go first. Dr. Dan?
Oh.
Okay,
Volunteered.
Okay.
My wife's good at that, by the way.
So anyway, I guess for me, I'd like to ask Dr. Reyes because, well, of course, looking around the panel here, it's a very impressive and accomplished set of individuals. But one thing that struck me about Dr. Reyes' profile, I think for Filipinos, Olivier mentioned, right, I think that a lot of times we excel in performing arts, we're very musical, we're performers here. But when it comes to, very technical, precise sciences, usually we think of the Germans or the Japanese, Americans, right? And so it was very intriguing to me that, even medicine is a science, but we're a little loose, in terms of this exactness, it's very, casual science, I guess. And so, do you think, especially for the people here are thinking of their careers and all that, right? So, how do you think we are in terms of? I guess what it needs is a lot of discipline, right? Which is something that maybe sometimes Filipinos are criticized for not having so much of. Do you think that we're maybe coming up in that, or what is the the sort of the key to success for a Filipino who maybe is from a country that's not known as to be as disciplined as Germany or Japan, to succeed in that kind of scientific field?
I'll push back a bit on the discipline side. But okay, all of our fields I think require discipline. But but I guess you're also referring to like the technical, analytical side. And that I think, yeah, I've spoken to it before, and I came to the point of asking questions. Because to me, the core part of being a scientist is asking questions. And it's like, you're saying, when nung bata ako, makulit ako. Parang makulit na bata, tanong ng tanong. And we have this tendency to, and it's not only Filipinos, I guess, it's all over the world, but I'm noticing it because I'm Filipino, that we tend to shush that, to say, no, wag na tanong ng tanong, or basta yun na yun, right? And I say na I'm very lucky that my parents, my mom in particular, didn't do that. Like, she actually had the patience to explain to me. Or to say na, oh, I don't know, but let's find out together. For example, saan galing ang ulan? Like, umuulan, diba? Saan galing ang ulan? You know, you wonder, right? But usually they say, di ko alam, so they just say, you know what, that's part of it. Part of it is being humble enough, saying, hindi ko alam, pero look, there's encyclopedia, non encyclopedia pa. Now there's internet, you know, you can just Google. And then you learn about the water cycle. It's from the rivers, it evaporates, and then becomes the clouds, and then it rains. And that there's this something, there are these processes, phenomena of nature, and there are laws, and that we can understand that. And who are the people who figure this out? These are the scientists. And then the other practical part of the question, I think, is then, why would you become a scientist? It's not also part of our, you know, you become a doctor, yes, you become a lawyer, or you become a basketball player. But you become a scientist, and that's also, I mean, even for me, like, I think it's just because we don't know anyone who was a scientist. And so it's hard even to imagine that someone from the audience now can become a scientist in the future. And that's why I also like to say, I mean, yeah, to share that we have role models who are scientists in our universities, in our industries. Konti lang, pero I think dumadami and dumadami as we also become more, I think, developed as a country. I hope that would also drive industry, because, you know, it's not all good, you know. Sorry. But to the question of, you know, the future, I guess, of the Philippines, I'm hopeful that this sort of economic development will also give more opportunity for young ones who are more inclined to science and technology to pursue that.
And you're teaching as well, right? You teach it as well.
Yes, and I'm teaching as well, and that's part of it, mentoring the next generation of scientists.
Thank you, Dr. Reyes. Now I'm looking for another volunteer.
Okay, so let's play it that way. Whoever got to answer
Bawi,
can ask. Sige.
It's for anyone. I guess I'm curious about how much of the one's field is innate, or your talent is innate, and I guess the specific question is, when did you know, how early did you know that this is what you wanted to do?
I guess from this side of the room, they explained that, particularly Rochelle explained that. Were you able to share that, Ryan, a little bit?
I don't think so in the way that this question was phrased. But I mean, I could answer. Like, are you asking at which point did we sort of know that it was more talent?
Like, for example, were you singing at 3 years old? Were you playing the piano at 3, at 5, or at 12?
All right, I feel like as far as talent comes, I feel like people just have a natural predisposition to liking things that they're good at, or maybe just being good at things that they like. So like, I mean, I've always been good at music, or like making music or writing music, but when I was a kid, my piano teacher quit on me. So like I never got to, my guitar teacher quit on me. And I tried to do like, you know, those little voice theater or whatever, those things as well. They were like, no, this kid's got no future. But around the time when I was like 15 or 16, I broke up with my girlfriend. And because of that, I was feeling really emo. I was listening to like Meralco and Edgar and I had a guitar. And I just sort of like started copying guitar songs. And I did that for a while. I literally locked myself up in my room. And I got really obsessed about it. Like I use that word obsessed a lot. Because like for me, it really was an obsession. I wasn't trying to get better, but I was just trying to just do as many things as I can with this little instrument that I had. And eventually I started writing songs, and trust me, like I sounded like shit. Like back then, especially because like I never sang. I don't really sing, but I mean, I like to, but I would have never thought that I'd ever be performing in front of people. But there came a point when like I would just write songs and I just get so lost in the moment. And then after the song was written, I'd be like, yo, not only does this sound good, but I don't even like really know or remember the process that it took when I made it. I mean, it sounds really weird. Like I wasn't on anything, I promise, but like it was like you're in a different world, and then you come out with a finished product, and then it's just like, yo, did I do that, or like did something else do that? You know? And I think that a lot of that had to do with talent, but to get there and to get better, I mean, it's a lot of practice, really.
Thank you. Now, Ryan, you get to ask a question, but new rule, you can't ask a person who had already answered. So we just come up with these things on the spot. I know you had a question here for
Yeah, I
Dr.
had a
Reina.
question because I love
So it's
Neil
got to be on
deGrasse.
someone
Anyway,
else.
You can just ask me the question.
the
I'll try to come up with something.
this is
I'm not allowed to ask you directly, but through you.
I had a question in mind, but I'm just gonna. This is for the voice, the master of
Pocholo.
Pocholo.
Okay.
You wrote it down.
He's prepared.
No, I didn't even write it down. I'm just messing around with my phone. My question is this. Do you find yourself sort of hitting roadblocks when, because I mean, like the voice can only do so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whenever you hit roadblocks, and you know you need to play a character, do you ever feel like I don't want this guy to sound like this other guy that I already did like 2 years ago? Like what do you do when you get into that situation?
Okay, when I'm starting, I always imitate all the voices that I'm hearing, like SpongeBob. You want to hear? Are you sure? Okay, I'll just do some samples. Like, you count 1, 2, 3, go.
1, 2, 3, go.
Hey, come on, Patrick. My name is SpongeBob. Ay, no!
And then Patrick, hey, how are you, SpongeBob?
Hey, shut up, SpongeBob. My name is Squidward.
I'm Mr. Krabs. And even Mickey Mouse. And, oh, come on, Pluto. My name is Mickey. And Donald Duck. Gosh, my name is Goofy.
So, well, actually, I really don't know why I can imitate that until I ask someone in my industry that, how do you do that voices? And he answers,
Alam mo pare, kinukuha ko lang sa bayag.
oh my God. Really, that's really true. He answers, you know, what is... I can't imagine he answers me that. A 17-year-old boy asking a veteran, like a 60-year-old, and he will answer me that. How do you do that voice? And I realized there's tools and techniques how to do it. Just like singing, playing piano, there's tools and techniques that you need to learn. So that's the reason why I took up speech communication. And when I went to the States, I studied with the greatest voiceover artists in the world, like Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy,
And also James Alberger, he's the author of The Art of Voice Acting. And gladly, 2 years ago, I am the only Filipino and Asian who were invited to be one of the international panelists together with the British, Australian, Turkish, and Spanish to speak in front of all thousands of voiceover artists around the world. And it's a Filipino still. So basically, I don't limit myself until I realize I can't do it, because you'll never know until you try. No? Just like the local voiceovers, like actors who are already dead. I don't even met them personally, but when I'm watching movies like Babalu, Panchito, you know them? Dolphy. Yeah, they are all my favorites. Like there's a parang scene, Babalu and Dolphy, sabi niya, "Sabi mo papasok eh." Dolphy said, "Sabi ko palabas, siya." So, when I imitated that, I was surprised to myself, oh, I can do it. Until all of them I can, even all your presidents I can. For example, of course, the former president, Marcos, you know him?
Be careful. His daughter is here.
Oh my God.
Just warning you.
Okay. Ang masasabi ko lang, mahirap siyang gayahin. And also,
Gusto ni Miss Irene mo.
bug. Also, ano na, okay na po. Who else? Erap, FBR, like, pare, sabi ko lang, huwag niyo akong subukan. FBR said,
Wala, first of all, mabuhay ang sambayan ng Pilipino para sa Philippines 2000.
ay, thank you very much, no? And many more. So, even the girl, I thought I can't do it. So, but I tried. My lola sounds like this.
Ay naku apo, mag-iingat ka.
Anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Pacholo. Now, since we've passed the baton to you, Pacholo, do you have any questions for anybody? Or
Actually,
throw
I
it right
want
back to Ryan if you
ask
want.
my idol, Cecil Licad. You know what? Since I'm in elementary, I've been hearing your name. But as you know, I really love to play piano since I'm young. But I can't, I really can't. So that's the reason why I just played guitar. So I think it's really a talent, not just a skill. Although I really tried to play piano. So how can you like inspire or motivate people who wants to play piano to try it? I mean, even they can't do it. Just like me, I really want until now to learn how to play piano. I only know how to play Baba Black Sheep, have you ever heard? Or Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Yeah.
Same song.
Or somebody that I used to know. Somebody, tan, 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 tan. That's all I can do, only notes.
Did you take lessons, my question?
Yeah. And my
Okay.
teacher quits.
Ryan's teacher quit also. But
Yeah, Ryan's teacher quit also. But
I know.
For I guess.
Hey, that's better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. So how do you encourage? I mean, Otavio, your son, was he also encouraged? Did you teach him to play the piano?
Actually not. I mean, he was just living with me. I mean, he was my son. So he had to hear me practice.
Right.
But he probably didn't want to do it anymore because it's like he knows how much it takes to, you know.
Right.
But yesterday I was with a very good friend and she had this grandchild who's like 3 years old and I was making noise in the piano and he would copy immediately. You know, he loved the monster sounds, you know, the boo-goo-goo-goo-goo-goo. And, and I would make bird sounds, and, you know, he was so excited. And
So is that how you'd like to encourage also this next generation? I mean, to take up piano, or not piano in particular, but really to master music, to be great at their craft. I guess that's what Pocholo is also getting at. How do you
I don't
encourage?
believe in forcing people. If they don't want piano, I mean, don't. I mean, you have to, I mean, it's a different kind of thing. Piano is a very, very difficult instrument. So I'm not trying to discourage people, but I mean, that's why I have no brain sometimes. It's because it's just too many things, you know. You use 10 fingers and much, much more.
I guess that's why, I mean, for our companies, HR does their work in trying to find what you're really good at and try to push you towards that direction. Parents also do the same, but you're right. If they are not interested in piano, why push them? But encourage those who may have that gift.
But if they like, yeah, but if they like it, if they enjoy it, you know, I know people who are 75 years old and they're practicing now, and they're loving it, and they're, you know, texting me like, oh, you said this, and it's really made a big difference, and you know.
So is it ever too late to learn? I mean,
Never too late. My teacher was 104 years old.
Wow.
When he died, and he played in Carnegie Hall when he was 97.
That is amazing.
And got married when he was 86.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Did everything late then.
Yeah.
Okay, may we ask you to ask any question you want to any of our panelists?
I didn't think of any.
No questions? Okay, let's go on to Olivier. Olivier or Sunil. You have any questions for anybody?
Well, first I want to say shit. because now I got that out of my system. It was bound to come at some point or another. I wanted to ask, sorry about that. I wanted to ask Rochelle, not so much a question, but how can you explain what you do to safeguard your instrument, which is your voice? Because we're lucky. I'm very lucky. I have a stick and I wave it like a monkey. But all you have, your instrument is, it's your body. And so,
I'm doing that right now.
and that's what you're doing there. So, because I've seen you, I've known you for a while, and you're half the time you're dressed like an Eskimo, and even in Manila. No, but can you tell what you what you do to keep ready in prime condition?
Yes. Well, different singers have different regimens, but of course, in general, you should stay physically fit and healthy. So that means eating the right food, sleeping right. You know, because our instrument, a singer's instrument, is not just the vocal cords, but the whole body. So if you're not in good condition, then, you know, you won't sound good. So basically, live a healthy life. And then, on top of that, always be prepared, which means practicing regularly. And that also varies. For those who are still studying the technique, the vocal technique, it has to be more frequent. And you need somebody to guide you, and that's a good teacher. And all musicians know that. In all instruments, you need a good teacher, the best teacher that you can get, you know, and train under that teacher and be guided by that teacher.
Thank you. I know, Pocholo, you also have to protect your many, many, many voices.
Yeah. Actually, I just learned that I need to protect my voice when I'm already 25 years old. And because I had this experience, I had to do a commercial, like 3 of them, before I do like 5 commercials a day. So the problem is I have a harsh voice. So I lost like 100,000 pesos because of that. So I realized I need to take good care of my voice. Just like now, I'm actually sick. I have a fever. But at least I can...
I'm also taking care of my voice.
Backing away. Contagious?
No, seriously.
Well, basically, that's the reason why I took up some courses also, how to take good care of the voices. So basically, what I do, I gargle lukewarm water with salt every day, literally every day. I don't drink water with ice, and I exercise regularly. And with this, actually, I created a program for teachers called Voice Care for Teachers. That's why I'm traveling around the country. And also, as a motivational speaker, I've been to more than 50 provinces around the country. So every time I speak for 2 hours, can you imagine? It's like I'm watching a movie. How can you get the attention of the people for 2 hours, especially for young people who got a very limited attention span? So, as you know, most of our teachers, when I was in elementary, I was wondering why they sound alike. All of them sounds like this.
Hoy, Pocholo, tumahimik ka!
They always sound like that. Like that. So I've realized most of the vocal cords of those teachers are already broken. I mean, it's destroyed literally because imagine for the past 40, 50 years of their life, they've been teaching. And there's a lot of remedies that I can also teach. And I hope if you need help, I can also teach you how to do that, especially for those teachers who are here.
Right, right. They must have had Ryan as a student, so their vocal cords actually broke already.
Can I ask a question? What do you guys like refrain from? You absolutely do not do. Your voice is your gift. It's your asset. What are things that you stay away from? Is it smoking? Is it other vices like that?
Yes, definitely. Whatever that abuses the voice. So there's certain foods also. We can't take like too spicy, although that also depends. I know some singers who can sing and eat all the spices and drink all the cold beverages and does not affect the voice at all. But I'm more careful, so I refrain from that. And then there are certain things that also like affects like the acid reflux that also affects the voice, so don't eat food that will
Before you perform.
will make you, will activate that. So things like that.
All right.
It's hard.
It is, and I can
There are
see
times
that
when
it
I really just want to give up because I just want to have ice cream, you know. I want to have a normal life, you know. Can't I just stop?
I'm sure there are many, many, many sacrifices. I mean, it's not just the ice cream. It's not just doing some of course,
It's
no one
all
wants
of
to do
those
vices.
small things
Yeah.
combined together.
That's true. Now, I'm going to give you an opportunity, Rochelle, to ask your good friend here a question, Olivier, because he hasn't answered a question yet.
Oh, I haven't thought about the question too.
Not that one. Not
It's
that
like
one.
so.
Not that one.
Oh, can it be not related to our
Yes.
work?
Yes.
What do you find so amazing about Filipinas that you married one?
I think it's married.
Yeah, and she's somewhere here, sleeping in the
Probably
audience,
so
I think.
special.
Well, it's too cliche to say that Filipinos are caring and loving, but they are, and so that's the gist of it. But my wife is crazy like me, which helps. I mean, and but not just crazy. I mean, she's, you know, where I have the passion for music, and she has the brains and keeps me grounded. And you need that, you know. You need. I know some people who are fine without a partner that's like that, but I need somebody like that. So, and I found her very quickly when I got to the Philippines. You know, but in general, I find that Filipinos are so resilient, and of course the resilience you hear about all the time whenever you get reports from CNN and all that on typhoons and on earthquakes and all that. But I saw it myself in person when I went down to Tacloban and places like that.